Here is a plant many gardeners pull out, while we are now planting it on purpose and feeding it to ourselves and our chickens. This is purslane, 麻刺线 in Chinese, a low-growing weed with a surprising resume. Once you recognize it, you see it everywhere. Lawn corners, planter edges, sidewalk cracks, and sometimes right in the middle of places where nobody invited it. In this video, I'll show you how we learn to cherish purslane, how it grows in our yard, how we eat it, and why this small plant carries a long story of food, culture, and nutrition. Welcome to With the Garden. Here in Los Angeles, in a cozy yard, I'm learning and sharing as I go. I hope you'll grow along with me. Let's begin. Our purslane story began with my mom. She knows some Chinese medicinal plants, and one day she identified a few small plants growing in the corners of neighborhood lawns. She told us purslane is recorded in Chinese herbal tradition as both food and medicine, and that it is sometimes described as a five-colored plant because it carries green leaves, red stems, yellow flowers, white roots, and black seeds. That little rainbow stayed with me. It made this seemingly insignificant plant feel suddenly rare, complete, and worth paying attention to. We brought home a few branches and rooted them successfully. Since then, purslane has become a steady presence in our garden, sometimes modest, sometimes bold. Some years, it appears quietly near the edges of planters. Other years, when the soil is warm and moisture is just right, its tiny seeds sprout into a dense reddish-green mat, covering an entire planter before we fully realize what is happening. This year, we are planting it more seriously because our chickens love it. When the chicks were small, we chopped tender purslane leaves into tiny pieces and mixed them with egg yolk and other feed. Now that they are bigger, we simply hang a branch, and they gather around as if we have installed a fresh salad bar. Purslane is easy to identify once the eye learns it. It grows low to the ground, spreading outward from smooth reddish stems. The leaves are small, thick, glossy, and succulent, usually oval or spoon-shaped. In our garden, purslane wakes as the soil warms in spring, grows quickly through late spring and summer, flowers when light and moisture are right, and then leaves behind an astonishing seed bank for the next generation. The flowers are small, bright yellow, and easy to miss unless you slow down and look closely. Purslane does not give us fruit in the peach or tomato sense, but it does form tiny seed capsules. When mature, each capsule opens like a little lid and releases dark brown to black seeds, so small they look like pepper dust. One mature plant can produce thousands of seeds. This is wonderful when we want purslane, especially for our kitchen and chickens. It is slightly less wonderful when it appears where we had planned to grow something else. As food, purslane tastes fresh, slightly sour, almost lemony, with a soft crunch from the juicy stems and leaves. It can go raw into salads with cucumbers and tomatoes, or be cooked in soups, stews, dumpling fillings, pickles, and simple stir-fries. My mom treats it as a spring and early summer special dish. She chops the stems and leaves, blanches them briefly, squeezes them lightly, then adds vinegar, soy sauce, and sesame oil. The result is cool, savory, tart, and fragrant. The origin of purslane is a little like the plant itself, widespread, resilient, and happy to cross borders. Its exact native range is debated, but many sources place it around North Africa, the Middle East, and the Indian subcontinent. Today, it appears across much of the world. In Chinese history, Purslane lives less in glamorous painting and more in herbal texts, seasonal food, and folk knowledge. Traditional Chinese medicine uses the above-ground parts for heat-clearing purposes and for certain skin and intestinal concerns. At home, we respect that tradition, while enjoying purslane mainly as seasonal food. For care, purslane asks for very little. It loves full sun, warm weather, and well-drained soil. It grows in average soil, but the leaves become more tender with regular water. Good airflow and moderate watering keep it healthy. If aphids, leaf miners, purslane sawfly larvae, or fungal spots appear, we harvest damaged parts, improve spacing, and rinse pests with water. Nutritionally, purslane is unusually rich for such a humble green. It is known for plant-based omega-3 fatty acids, especially alpha-linolenic acid, and it also offers vitamin C, vitamin A compounds, magnesium, potassium, calcium, iron, and antioxidants. Like spinach, purslane contains oxalates, so we enjoy it as one seasonal green among many, rather than treating it as something to eat in endless amounts. Commercially, purslane appears in farmers' markets and specialty stores. It has also been studied as poultry feed for improving egg fatty acid profiles. Our chickens do not read scientific papers, but their enthusiasm is convincing. What I love most is how purslane changes the way we see the garden. Value is not always tall, rare, carefully labeled, or planted in a perfect row. Sometimes it grows flat against the soil, with red stems, yellow flowers, black seeds, and a quiet willingness to return. Have you ever eaten purslane? Or do you still pull it as a weed? And if you keep chickens, what garden greens do they love most? Thank you for watching. If this was helpful or inspiring, please give it a like, share, subscribe, and tell me what you're growing in the comments. See you next time in the garden.